Well, if you partied too hard last night or have a case of the Sunday scaries, we know how to help you here. It's time to enjoy another round of the Brunch Buzz.
Yes, so let's welcome back our special guest, Newsmax host Bill Spadea and former New York Congresswoman Deanna Hayworth. We're going to end this morning with some fun. Going to FIFA's World Cup, a little less painful on the wallet originally. A round trip ticket from New York Penn Station to New Jersey's MetLife Stadium. Now just $105. It was $150 before.
Oh, come on.
According to The Athletic, Jersey Transit said it received financial support from sponsors and other sources. But still, I mean, come on, $100 to take the train from Penn to...
You addressed this a few weeks ago.
Yes, it is very high. Now, the good news is they do have corporate sponsors. I had a great conversation with Chris Calori, a friend of mine who runs New Jersey Transit. He said, we're looking for more sponsors, so I expect that price to go down. The other good news is it's not going to affect commuters. So
that's good to know. It's only if you're going to the game.
If you're going to the game, you're going to pay the vig. And the truth
Are they
is,
going to have special trains that will just go to the game?
Well, that's
a good question.
That's a great question. You know, I think that there are a lot more questions about how to avoid what happened at the Super Bowl when the Super Bowl was at the Meadowlands. Total nightmare.
Yeah.
So
because
I have confidence this will be better. But you know, the truth is that they cut a bad deal with the last governor. That FIFA is not putting up any of the money. We're left to scramble.
Between the train fare, the ticket prices, the World Cup is financially just out of control. So, Nan, anyone between the ages of 14 to 29, obviously considered Gen Z.
Yes.
And we're getting insight on how they approach media. So check this out. According to a new study, 59% of Gen Z users will subscribe and then unsubscribe to a streaming platform just to watch one show.
Sure.
Right. So the data also shows that 62% won't pay full price for video games, while 71% stopped buying physical music albums. And then look at this, 70% won't buy hard copies of TV shows or movies. So not only does it sound like platform loyalty is pretty much dead, but it's these kids wouldn't appreciate a night at Blockbuster Video.
What I'm hearing is they're being smart with their money.
That's exactly what I'm hearing. Yes, and I still have my vinyl from the 60s and 70s.
I love it.
Anybody's interested? I'm hanging on to it. But the album covers alone. But no, it's smart. It's very smart, actually, to skip among streaming services, because very often, of course, you will then be able to take advantage of the offers that they provide when they want you to become their client again. So you know,
I'd be lying if I said I haven't done that.
Well,
you have a show on like one of the streamers.
Of course.
You get the free trial for a week. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about this now that I'm talking about it.
But what are we all supposed to have? Like 17 platforms?
Just pull up the ladder on the rest of us.
Binge it for a week and then get rid of the subscription.
You've got to be careful, though. I went through my subscriptions. I was paying almost $300 a month for double subscriptions. I had two subscriptions to Hulu for some reason.
You got to keep. You got to be vigilant.
You there.
Right?
Like some other places will say, "Oh, do you already have an account?"
I know.
No, they get you. I had two.
But the single most difficult thing to do, and actually there is legislation pending to fix it, I kid you not, and apparently Mayor Mamdani agrees on this. It's like, wow, that's one thing I actually agree. It's very, very difficult to cancel a newspaper subscription. Like a print media subscription tends to be very difficult to cancel. You can click and get your subscription, but then getting out of it, it's like you have to walk the letter to their Arkansas office.
It can be hard to cansel some of these subscriptions.
Arkansas is a great state. I don't mean that, Arkansas. But it's just a long way from New York, especially if you're going by foot. And apparently this is a requirement.
So, Bill, I got to get your thoughts on this one. So customer service can be a pain for anybody, right?
True.
This includes Pope Leo. So get this. According to a longtime friend, the pontiff actually called his bank 2 months into his papacy to change his phone number and address. What, to the Vatican? But okay.
They're like not valid.
But get this, the bank's customer service rep told him that he'd have to do it in person. So when he told the rep that he was the Pope, she hung up on him.
That is hilarious.
So no word on which bank it was, and how many Hail Marys does somebody need for hanging up on the Pope?
You're going to confession for that, right? She doesn't doesn't know until now. Now she.
love it.
But doesn't the Pope have guys?
Yeah, for the
Like, isn't there a
You
guy
think you
that
reach
made that call?
You
He's
reach
the
it to
Pope,
that place
right?
in
He's
life.
so personable that he's calling
Maybe
his
that's
own bank.
That's a great point.
But welcome to the real world.
Well, there
because
you
customer
go.
service is
That's
impossible.
right.
How does he say that on the phone when he's just like, it's just like, you're going to have to
No,
go
I'm
there
the
in
Pope.
person? And he's like, I'm the Pope. Like, how does one. That's like when Justin Timberlake was in the
Yeah.
cop's office.
absolutely.
And he was like, oh, I'm Justin Timberlake. And they're like,
Right.
okay.
General Schwarzkopf, I remember when he was signed out of the military, when he retired, they gave him an ID. They're like, this is so they recognize you.
When I call my bank and tell them I'm the Pope, they believe me. So,
And there you go.
and, you know, go now, right?
It's true.
Are there a lot of people calling the bank saying they're the Pope?
I just went through. I just went through the.
That's the latest scam. Right.
I just went through the change of address. I didn't have to go in person. I just did it over the phone.
Well, it's hard to get someone on the phone these days.
It's
in
impossible,
customer
especially
service.
someone in America.
You're like sent to 3 countries,
Right,
and an email
right.
address, an AI bot.
Everybody should actually be very vigilant. This is a serious thing. At least as of a couple of years ago, it was very easy for someone who is not you to use the online system for the U.S. Postal Service and change your address. Unbeknownst to you. It happened to me. It's a form of identity theft.
Interesting.
Yes, and the safeguards that the Postal Service claimed were in place were not actually in place to prevent that from happening. So do be vigilant about your physical mail that comes to
No,
your
it's true. That's
home.
Yeah, so much stuff's online now.
Right,
It's hard
of course,
to know.
right, and most of my billing is done electronically, or my payments, but nonetheless, I do get physical mail to my home, and I noticed that there was something of a deficit, and it was because somebody changed my address to a.
So now,
That's
we've just
scary.
given somebody an idea.
Yeah,
And
Pose
we
as the
just-
Pope.
There you go.
Right,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
right.
No, I'm the Pope. I'm the Vatican.
Yeah.
And I think we
Great
just officially killed our
conversation,
drunk
you
buzz,
guys.
too. Anyway, Congresswoman Nan Hayworth, of course, Newsmax host Bill Spady. So great to see you both again. Thanks for being with us.
Great to be here.
That was fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.